You fight with the strength of many men, Sir Knight.
Hey, what's up guys, Weekend Version here with another Dawncaster video. In the last video we beat the Weeping Mother with the Knight, and in this video we'll progress to the next Kanto region. So before we do that, let's just show you the deck list. So we picked up Last Stand, so that's going to be an important card for the build we're going for. We also picked up Berserk and Seething Anger. With Seething Anger, I think we're going to upgrade it at some point to trade for the Collector if we find him. So let's go ahead to the Eastern Blight Woods. So once again, I'll be progressing through the default sections, assuming that you guys have none of the DLCs. This would be the path you'd be taking as well. The final boss for this Kanto is Garvin Greaves, but the real boss is actually Daisy. So go ahead with the opportunity and take the gold. We got the greed, so... and there's Daisy. I think... so we could upgrade the greed into something better, or we could just upgrade the Berserk into Reckless Frenzy, Cleave in Twain, but I think I'll pick Elite Weaponry, and let's fight the Bandit. Play the energy, the longsword, the swipe, and the turn. So the nice thing now is that we are able to get fortified every single turn because of the reduced cooldown on our weapons. If we can get persistent on Last Stand, it would be really nice. But for now I think we should be okay with the amount of armor we're gaining. Let's brace for impact. Longsword pass. And then we'll play 2 longswords. Play the surge into longsword, and yeah. Retaliate could be interesting, but yeah, I think it's better if we just stick with the armor cards for now. So I think I'll just skip this for now. So I think I'll just skip this for now. Go pick up the opportunity, open the crates. So actually with this event, if we found the merchant before encountering this event, we would unlock a special passive which allows us to buy cards for free. But unfortunately we found the event before finding the merchant. And once you find the merchant, if you want to unlock the passive, you actually leave the crates alone, you don't open them if you want to get that passive. So that's just like a small tip for you guys. So this tracker gains evasion every turn, which shouldn't be too bad because we still get the armor by playing the longswords even if they dodge the attack. We could pick up the scythe, or actually we pick the tower shield just because of the armor synergy. Play the longsword, another one. So yeah, at least we still get the armor, which is nice. There's a few cards that only trigger their secondary effects on hit, and those cards usually mention the fact that they're on hit. Seething Anger into LongSword. Actually, we could just yeah, play the 2 LongSword. Let's play the 2 LongSword just to get some damage in. We'll play the Tower Shield into Surge into 2 LongSwords. So for now with this deck, I'm not really too worried about my life total, because we're always mitigating damage by gaining shield. The only concern I have right now is our damage is not scaling that well, because most of it is actually once we have fortified. So if we get fortified, then we could trigger bash and then get the crit for like giga damage. So we'll play the Brace for Impact and then finish him off. Appraisal, deal 3 damage, deals additional damage for every damage taken during the last enemy turn. Yeah, that's not a really good card for the type of deck we're going for. So I'll just skip these choices for now. There's Daisy. So we'll just activate our weapon power before fighting it. So let's try to gain as much armor as we can. And then crit for 18. So the strategy with Daisy is that... Daisy is annoying because she applies... I forgot the affliction name. Oh, it's Trapped. So with Trapped, you can only play cards from the left or right from the left or the right hand side of your hand. And it gets annoying if sequencing is important, so especially if you're playing with like ambush decks or flanking decks. And also she gains anger every turn. The longer the fight is, the harder it is to deal with Daisy. And Daisy also applies Doom. So it's just like, it's an annoying combination of these 3 factors that make Daisy really annoying to fight against early on. Because unless your damage can quickly ramp up, or you can at least mitigate a lot of the damage or somehow mess with the anger, then it's such a pain to fight Daisy. So we beat Daisy, let's see what options we get. Magical Ornaments, Tough Bones, Strength in Numbers. So it's always recommended to reroll. There's no penalty, in the sense that you don't lose future rerolls by rerolling now. So I'll reroll Magical Ornaments and then Uncanny Strength. So Tough Bones is really nice because it gives us that additional layer of survivability, and it trivializes a lot of the annoying bosses in the future cantos. So we'll skip these card choices for now and then pick the opportunity. We'll fight the Bandit Looter. We'll just play our longswords. So a nice talent to have is that there's a talent later on which basically doubles the amount of armor we gain. And also, I think there's a talent that gives you fortified. I forgot the name of it. But with the core set, I'm not sure if there's a lot of fortified support. Unless we get the Hellforge Axe, which we can trade in with the Blacksmith to give us a talent to double the amount of upgrades we get on our basic weapons. That would make our longswords hit for a lot and also gain a lot of armor in return. And if we could get, again, if we can get persistent on last stand, that would be really nice because we can time, because then we can play that card once we're in a pinch. But brace for impact is basically like a mini last stand anyways. So let's play the brace for impact. Actually, I can play the longsword first, see what we draw. Then Bolstered strike and then just finish it off. Barricade, heavy swing and shatter. Heavy swing deals 15, barricade gains armor equal to lost damage dealt. Which is actually kind of counterintuitive with our deck. It's actually not designed for our type of deck. But it's an interesting card regardless. I think I'll skip these choices. And then let's go fight the collector. So this is the Crimson Collector, which is not the same as the Collector NPC that takes in cards for rewards. Let's start with the Surge, into Tower Shield, into Longswords. So 15 armor, that's nice. We'll play the Longsword into another one. So we need to get rid of the shields at some point. Play the 2 Longswords and pass. Play the Surge into Brace for Impact, into Longsword, into Bash, and then finish it off. Retaliate again, Mage Armor, and Cauterize. None of these actually work for our deck, so we'll just pass. Activate the Weapon Power. So actually I should be activating the Weapon Power every fight, but I'm forgetting to click the button. So let's try to get as much damage as we can, because in 3 turns we'll be taking 20 damage. So the Cannoneer plays a card every turn, unless he's inheriting the first hit passive from a nearby enemy, in which case they'll actually attack in 2 turns. So that's really why whenever you see an enemy with a floating enchantment, you always want to take them out before fighting other enemies so that they don't inherit their passives. So another Bolstered strike, so we'll definitely pick that one up, just to increase the consistency of us triggering the crit. We'll go for the... oh, okay, we got the Axe in the Stone opportunity. Oh, but we don't have... oh, that's a shame. So for the Imp, we'll just... can we afford to take damage at this point? We don't have a potion, so we'll just use the gold. Arcane Warding. So with the Axe in the Stone, unfortunately we didn't have an extra red or surge, so we couldn't pass that check. That would have been a really nice upgrade to our deck. Memorized. If we give it to Bolstered Strike, we're always guaranteed to start with it, so we'll definitely give that to Bolstered Strike. So yeah, as I was saying with the opportunity, the Axe, that was one of the key events that I wanted to find later on. But unfortunately we found it too early to be able to trigger it properly. So you need 2 red energy and I think an extra surge. I can't forget how to do it, but yeah. So now that we're fortified and we're guaranteed to start with Bolster Strike, suddenly our deck is a lot more consistent, which is nice. We'll pick another Bolster Strike just in case. We'll fight the Crimson Collector. I'll brace for impact into Bolster Strike and pass. Should we do that? Actually, we can just last stand into Bolster Strike, but we'll do this first. And play Arcane Warding into Shield and pass. I'll start with the Surge to gain some life and then play the 3 LongSwords. So with this deck, the extra cards are mostly red cards. So whenever you're playing your basic attacks, try to prioritize your blue energy first. And you can do that just by sliding the card to the left side, so where the blue side is. And that will use up the blue mana. You also see the mana highlighted before you use it, so it's always good to make sure if that's the case. Especially with multicolored decks. So we got Blessed Weapon. But we'll skip these choices. We'll activate the weapon power, so yeah. Definitely get the reduced cooldown weapon, because the difference between having fortified and not is it's a massive difference. With fortified you can basically take down the enemy in 1 or 2 turns. Shrine of Radiance, we can change the energy color into neutral. So we'll do it for... Okay, let's do it for Arcane Warding. Actually, if we do it to... Yeah, let's do it for Arcane Warding. Seething Anger. Well, let's keep going. We'll follow the trail and go to the band camp and charge in. So if you charge in, you get to fight an additional character, which is the Bandit Looter, so this one. And the reason for doing that is XP and gold, and extra card rewards, which unfortunately in this case they're not really that good, so we'll just skip. And also obviously if you're low in health or you don't think you can beat that character, you can always just approach quietly to skip that fight. But you still have to fight the boss, so Greaves. So Greaves' damage and health scales with bleeding. But because we gain armor, it doesn't really matter that much, so we'll just crit him and kill him in 1 turn. So that's the power of Fortified with Bash in the starting hand, as well as Last Stand. So if you can get Memorized on Last Stand as well, that would be really good, as long as we're on low health, obviously. Storm Shell could be nice for a Storm deck, which we're not. I think I'll take Storm Shell just to see if we can do something interesting with. We'll use up the campsite to heal. Let's go back to the Bright Candle. and speak to the blacksmith, upgrade all our cards, speak to Evelyn, cash in our gold. And let's speak with the merchant just to see what he has. Another storm shell, defensive strike. So that's pretty expensive for an armor card. But another bolstered strike could be nice. Searing weapon. Yeah, none of this is particularly relevant. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and in the next video we'll go to the next section, so the swamp. So that will be fun. We'll see how the armor build fares against poison. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.